Hello friends, Tanya here for Trinity Stamps, and today I am going to show you how to stretch your stencils and make some fun tags. We're going to use the 6x9 layering balloons stencils. There are 2 stencils in this set, and it creates some layered balloons, just like the title says. We're going to start out with a full sheet of cardstock here. I am using a heavyweight cardstock because I want this to be a good weight for my large tag. I took several Distress Oxide inks here. I've got Tattered Rose, Dried Marigold, Scattered Straw, Bundled Sage, Tumbled Glass, and Shaded Lilac. And we're going to create, I was hoping for a nice pastel background here. And I am going to do each layer of the stencil. Now I'm going to speed it up really fast here. Sorry if that makes anyone nauseous. And I'm going to quickly do 3 rows of this balloon. Yes, there are only 2 rows of this balloon in this balloon stencil, but I'm going to show you how to extend it a little bit. Now here I'm going to wipe off the extra Distress Oxide off of the stencil, but it would have been a better idea to do that while it was still taped down. I'm only lightly tacking this down on the paper and on my mat to prevent it from shifting while I'm stenciling. But these are not fine detail stencils. It's a pretty large area that you're stenciling for each image. I don't feel the need to tape off the different areas because they're far enough apart that I don't have to worry about getting the ink where I don't want it. I started out trying to go in rainbow order, but that really didn't work out very well since this is 2 layers of balloons or 2 rows of balloons. And I just decided to try to go with the flow and try not to create mud when I layered any of the balloons. So I'm going to finish off this last row, and that was just laid creatively onto the paper so that it would tuck right into the existing balloons. Now I'm going to come back with the second layer of the stencil again and line that up with the previously stenciled balloons and just go to town and layer some more. I was amazed that that purple and yellow didn't turn into brown. Now here is the entire page all stenciled, and now I took some liquid pixie dust and I'm spattering that all over this paper. I wanted it to look like some iridescent confetti and dress this up just a little bit. It looked kind of stark with the stenciling on just the plain white paper, and I thought this made a perfect addition to the pattern. I did cut this down the long way, so I have 2 4¼ by 11 inch pieces of stenciled paper, and I'm taking the Slimline tags die set and taking the largest of those tags. It is large enough to fit on a Slimline card, but I am definitely going with a tag this time. I didn't use any of the hole reinforcers. Now I'm taking the Tall Tales stamp set and coordinating die set that was released a couple years ago, and I think it's adorable. Perfect for little baby cards. And now we're going to take Big Bold Sentiments and take the Congratulations, and we're going to stamp that on this tag. I'm going to stamp it first with some VersaFine Onyx. No, not the well, it could be the VersaFine Onyx Clair. This happens to be the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I'm going to stamp this 2 or 3 times to get a good solid impression over all of that Distress Oxide ink. I did find a spot on my N that just on the second N, I don't think you can see it on the screen right now, that had a speck in it that I couldn't get off, but I'm just going to go with it. I want that to be a nice solid black, and then we're going to take some embossing powder and sprinkle that over the top and melt it. I like to use something with a little extra sparkle when it comes to anything that is whimsical or anything that's a big celebration. So I've got this fairy dust embossing powder. It's really a clear embossing powder with some iridescent glitter in it. I'm going to get that well coated and bring my heat tool over to my project and get that all nice and melted. Just takes a few seconds. And I did let that heat a little bit beforehand so that it would not warp the paper as much. Since this is a tag that we're not going to be gluing down or layering on top of another tag, I wanted that to not be really warped. I took my anti-static powder bag there and added a layer of that over the top of my existing embossing again, so that it wouldn't get my embossing powder all over the place. And then I stamped it, I stamped it a couple more times with some with some Juicy ink. And I did stamp that 2 or 3 times because I really want a nice thick coating of embossing powder. So I'm going to use the same clear embossing powder with iridescent glitter to do this layer, and we'll heat that again. And again, it doesn't take very long, and you want to preheat your heat tool a little bit so it doesn't warp your paper, because you want this to lay nice and flat. Now, this is also a 110-pound white cardstock. And look at that. I love the sparkle that all of that embossing does. I had colored this giraffe long ago and had actually hand cut this myself because I didn't have the dies yet. I do have the coordinating dies now. And if I'd had that cut the same, I could have used the die to create a backer. Next, we're going to use the Bubble Bath Baubles, Embellishment Baubles, and I'm just going to add a scattering of glue dots over this tag so I can go back and add the baubles. This is my new method. I don't want to put too much thought into it. I just scatter some glue dots across my project and then start adding the baubles across them. I generally try to go from large to small, or just do a nice mix of sizes across the project to make it look well balanced. I do use several on this tag, but that's okay. I have lots of them. I have used these bubble bath embellishments on several projects, and I still have gobs of them. That's one of the things I love about the Trinity embellishments. They come in their own little containers, and there are so many in the container that you know you're not going to run out really fast. Most of the time, you will run out of them about when you're bored with them, or when you feel like you would want to order some more anyway. The tidy tray makes it super easy to dump them back into your container. And next, I'm going to pull out a couple, 2-3 sets of twines here from my stash. And honestly, I don't even know where these twines came from. I have twine from all of my years of collecting, and I just pull them out and find something that coordinates with the colors of my project. I was hoping I had something purple that would match that nice purple balloon. However, I found some peachy pink and a nice baby blue and some white, and we'll just layer those through this hole in the top and tie a knot in it, and there is our tag all completed. And the back of this tag looks lovely already also, so I could just add a little note or a to and from to that. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do that now. It really helps this channel. And if you're interested in any of the products I used today, they will be in the description box below. And here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Until next time, bye-bye.